I've been using the iPhone 17 every single day for 4 months now, and I have to be honest, I was skeptical at first. Why buy the standard iPhone when the Pro model exists? But after 4 months of heavy use, I can tell you this is the best standard iPhone Apple has ever built. And for most of you, it's actually the better choice than the Pro. In this video, I'm sharing everything that impressed me, what annoys me, and whether I'd buy it again after 4 months. I've got the green iPhone 17 here, and in my opinion, the best looking color this year. But there's also black, white, blue, and lavender. So there's something for everyone. After 4 months in daily life, I have a pretty clear picture of what this iPhone can and what can do. Let's start with the design. Apple finally gave the standard iPhone the upgrade it deserves. The 6.3-inch display is now the same size as the Pro model. That alone is a huge step up from its predecessor. It feels perfect in the hand, not too big, not too small. What I really like, at 177 grams, the iPhone 17 is noticeably lighter than the iPhone 17 Pro at 204 grams. That might not sound like much, but after 4 months of daily use, you really feel the difference. It's just more comfortable, especially during longer sessions. I mostly use my iPhone without a case. Yeah, I like to live on the edge. And after 4 months, I can say Ceramic Shield 2 isn't just marketing hype. Apple claims the display is 3 times more scratch resistant than before. And it's actually true. I don't have a single visible scratch on the screen. The frame is aluminium, just like the Pro models used to be, since titanium is now the Pro standard. You miss out on the unibody design of the Pros, but the classic design still feels premium and solid. No scratch issues here after 4 months either. One thing to mention though, the iPhone 17 doesn't have a vapor chamber like the Pro models. That means it gets a bit warmer under heavy load. In everyday use, I barely noticed it, only during long gaming sessions or extended 4K video recording. The display, this is where it gets really interesting. The iPhone 17 finally gets promotion with 120Hz. Finally, we've been waiting years for Apple to bring this to the standard model. And the difference is immediate. Scrolling is buttery smooth, animations are fluid, the whole system just feels faster. With the new promotion, the display can ramp down not just to 120Hz, but all the way to 1Hz. That means the standard iPhone finally gets an always-on display. With up to 3000 nits of brightness, I can see everything perfectly, even in direct sunlight. Over the last 4 months, I never had trouble reading the screen outdoors, whether at the beach or hiking. And another important thing, Apple added an option under accessibility to disable PWM. For anyone who gets headache from low display brightness flickering, this is a game changer. So there's really no reason to go Pro just for the display anymore. The A19 chip with 8GB of RAM is extremely powerful. In 4 months, I haven't had a single situation where the iPhone felt too slow. Apps open instantly, multitasking works flawlessly, and even demanding games run smoothly. Yes, the Pro has the A19 Pro with 12GB of RAM, but honestly, for normal users, there's no noticeable difference. The only area where the Pro wins is during very long, intensive tasks due to better heat dissipation. iOS 26 with the new liquid glass design is running much more stably and fluidly after the latest updates compared to the launch. There were some bugs at the start, but since iOS 26.2 it's a lot better. Weird stuff still happens here and there, but overall I'm pretty happy with the new software now. The iPhone 17 spots a 48-megapixel dual fusion camera system. I will say it's straight. For a standard iPhone, the camera is really good, but it's not perfect. In daylight, the main camera takes solid photos. Sharpness and colors are on point. And for social media or family pics, it's totally enough. However, the sensor is smaller than on the Pro, and you will notice that in tricky lighting conditions, the photos are good, but not on the level of an iPhone 17 Pro. By the way, even though Apple doesn't offer native RAW support in the camera app, you can still shoot RAW photos using third-party apps like Halid or Pro Camera. Great option if you want to edit in Lightroom later. Night mode works surprisingly well for dual camera system. In dark situations, I get usable results, not always perfect, but more than enough for daily life. The new 80 megapixel front camera with the square sensor is a real upgrade. Whether portrait or landscape, you don't need to rotate the phone anymore. Center stage keeps your face centered automatically during FaceTime, which is handy. The wider angle helps a lot for group selfies. Videos are solid, but this is where the gap to the Pro is widest. No ProRes, no log profile, no USB 3 for the fast transfer. For content creators, the Pro is clearly the better choice. But let's be real, for most of you that's irrelevant. If you are shooting videos of your kids, your vacation or for Instagram stories, the iPhone 17's video quality is more than sufficient. 4K at 60 FPS looks great, stabilization works well and the autofocus keeps up reliably. You can't go wrong here for anything that doesn't need professional post-production. So what is my honest verdict on the camera? It's good enough for anyone primarily taking photos and videos for themselves or social media. But if the camera is really important to you, meaning you zoom a lot, shoot in low light or make videos for YouTube, then the Pro model with its larger sensor, telephoto lens and Pro formats is the better investment. Next up, the battery, and this is one of the biggest surprises. Apple promises up to 30 hours of video playback, that's 8 hours more than the iPhone 16. And in real life, after 4 months, I can confirm it's true. On a normal day, social media, music, a bit of YouTube, navigation, I easily get through the day and still have 30 to 40% left in the evening. On days with heavier use, lots of photos, videos, navigation, I still make it through a full day without topping up. The battery is definitely better than its predecessor. Charging has gone faster too. With a 40-watt charger, you hit 50% in just 20 minutes. Wireless charging via MagSafe hits 25 watts, which is really fast for wireless. Now for the criticism, because no device is perfect. The iPhone 17 is stuck with USB 2.0 speeds of max 480 megabytes per second. The Pro has USB 3 with significant faster transfer rates. If you regularly move large files to a computer, this can be annoying. Personally, it's not an issue since I always do everything via cloud, but it could be a deal breaker for some. Second, no telephoto. Yes, the digital zoom is okay, but a real telephoto lens would have been nice. If you zoom a lot, the Pro is a better choice. Third, 8GB RAM instead of 12s. Not a problem right now, but in 3 or 4 years that might make a difference. After 4 months, I can tell you the iPhone 17 is the iPhone most people should buy. The difference to the Pro has never been smaller. You get the same 120Hz display, the same form factor, a good camera and a battery that easily lasts a whole day, all for several €100 less. Plus, Apple doubled the base storage to 256GB for the same price as the old 128GB. That's a real upgrade in value. If you don't need professional video features, don't rely on zoom. And the USB 3 doesn't matter to you, save the money and get the iPhone 17. You won't regret it. I use my green iPhone 17 every day and after 4 months I'm still thrilled with it. That really says it all. Let me know in the comments which color you'd like the most and if you're leaning more towards the standard or the Pro. And if you liked the video, drop a like, it really helps the channel out. So I will see you in the next video. Bye!